Welcome. We spent 5 lectures on the letter of credit, an instrument that is drawn in the normal course of business that everyone expects to be used. Now we turn to a different family of instruments. Bank guarantees and standby letters of credit are not expected to be drawn. They are promises, contingent undertakings that sit in the background and only come to life when something goes wrong. Understanding how they work and why they matter is essential for anyone working in transaction banking or corporate finance. Let us start with a picture. A property developer wins a government contract to build a hospital. Before a single brick is laid, the government demands assurance. If this developer fails to deliver, we need recourse. A contractor receives a $5 million advance payment from a buyer to mobilize equipment. The buyer wants a guarantee that if delivery fails, the advance comes back. A trading company wants to buy on open account terms, but the seller is not willing to ship without some form of payment security. In every one of these scenarios, the answer is a bank guarantee. A bank guarantee is a written undertaking by a bank, the guarantor, to pay a specified sum to a beneficiary if the applicant fails to fulfill an underlying obligation. It is a contingent instrument. The bank's obligation does not arise unless and until the applicant defaults. 2 features define every bank guarantee, and you need to understand both. The first is that a bank guarantee is irrevocable. Once issued, neither the bank nor the applicant can unilaterally cancel, amend, or terminate it. The beneficiary's rights are fixed from the moment of issuance. The guarantee cannot simply be withdrawn because the applicant changes their mind, runs into financial difficulty, or disagrees with the beneficiary's interpretation of events. The second is that a bank guarantee is independent. It is entirely separate from the underlying commercial contract. The bank's payment obligation is based solely on the conditions stated in the guarantee document itself. Whether the applicant has actually defaulted under the contract, whether they are truly in the wrong, is not the bank's determination to make. The bank looks only at the guarantee terms and the demand presented against them. This independence is what makes a guarantee powerful for beneficiaries and what makes it a contingent but real financial exposure for the bank. Bank guarantees are governed by URDG 758, the Uniform Rules for Demand Guarantees published by the ICC in 2010. The applicant, sometimes called the principal, is the party whose obligation is being guaranteed. This is typically the seller, contractor, or borrower. The guarantor is the issuing bank. The beneficiary is the party protected by the guarantee, typically the buyer, project owner, or government authority. In cross-border transactions, there is often a fourth party, a counter-guarantor, which we will come to shortly. Before formal bidding begins on a project, the project owner will sometimes ask potential bidders to provide a letter of intent. This document demonstrates that the bidder has sufficient banking lines and genuine capacity to support the project, essentially that the bank stands behind them. A letter of intent can be legally binding or non-legally binding in nature, and this must be clearly stated in the document. It is issued by the bank on behalf of the applicant, confirming the existence and adequacy of their credit facilities. It is not the same as a bid bond. The LOI is issued before the tender is submitted to demonstrate eligibility. The bid bond comes with the formal bid itself. Once a formal tender is submitted, the bid bond protects the project owner if the winning bidder withdraws their bid or refuses to sign the contract after being selected. Typically 1 to 5% of the contract value, with a short tenor running until contract execution. The performance bond is the most common type of bank guarantee globally. It protects the beneficiary against the contractor's failure to complete a project, abandonment of works, or delivery of substandard output, typically 10% of contract value, valid for the full duration of the contract, plus a defects liability period, usually 12 to 24 months after practical completion. Under a demand guarantee structure, the beneficiary can call the performance bond by presenting a written demand and a statement that the applicant has failed to perform. No court judgment is required. No proof of fault needs to be established. The bank pays. You will see performance bonds across construction, infrastructure, oil and gas, power generation, and government procurement. Some are structured with a reduction mechanism. The guarantee amount steps down proportionally as project milestones are certified, which reduces the contingent exposure for the bank as the project progresses. Where a buyer makes an advance payment, mobilization funds, for example, an advance payment guarantee protects them if the recipient fails to deliver. The guarantee amount typically reduces in line with the delivery schedule, so the bank's exposure mirrors the outstanding advance at any point in time. In construction contracts, buyers routinely withhold a retention from progress payments, typically 5 to 10%, as security against defects. A retention money guarantee allows the contractor to receive that cash immediately, replacing it with a bank guarantee instead. The contractor's working capital is freed up. The buyer retains their security. A payment guarantee is the bank's undertaking that the buyer will pay the seller for goods or services. In practice, this instrument is also referred to as a commercial SBLC. The terminology is used interchangeably in the market. This instrument sits firmly in the open account world. The seller ships on trust, and the buyer's bank provides a guarantee as a payment risk mitigant. If the buyer fails to pay on the due date, the seller presents a written demand and the bank pays. It is simpler and less expensive than a letter of credit. There are no documents to examine, no strict compliance standard to meet, but the seller also gives up documentary control. The guarantee is purely a payment backstop, not a mechanism for controlling the transaction. A financial guarantee is issued to support the financial or banking facilities of one entity with another bank or in another location. A company wants a loan from a foreign bank. Its relationship bank issues a financial guarantee to the lending bank, guaranteeing repayment. A subsidiary needs banking facilities in a new market. The parent's bank issues a financial guarantee to the local bank there. The key distinction from a performance guarantee is that a financial guarantee covers financial obligations, loan repayment, interest payments, not contractual performance. From the issuing bank's perspective, it is essentially underwriting another bank's credit decision. If the beneficiary bank lent imprudently, the guarantor bank still pays. In a domestic transaction, or where the beneficiary is comfortable dealing directly with the applicant's bank, the guarantee is issued directly. One bank, one document, straightforward. In cross-border transactions, beneficiaries often require a guarantee from a bank in their own country. The structure then becomes indirect. The applicant's bank issues a counter guarantee to a local bank in the beneficiary's country, and the local bank issues the primary guarantee to the beneficiary. The local bank is fully covered. If it pays under the primary guarantee, it claims under the counter guarantee. Why do beneficiaries prefer this? Because they are dealing with a bank they know and trust, in their own legal framework, in their own language. Making a claim against a local bank branch is straightforward. Pursuing a foreign bank in a different jurisdiction and time zone is not. The trade-off is cost. Indirect issuance involves two banks, each charging their own fees. The local bank's issuance fee layers on top of the counter guarantee fee the applicant pays to their own bank. The beneficiary's preference for familiarity and convenience comes at the applicant's expense. A bank guarantee is an irrevocable, independent undertaking. Once issued, the beneficiary's position is protected. The bank looks only at the guarantee terms, not the underlying contract, not the merits of the dispute. Know the types: letter of intent, bid bond, performance bond, advance payment guarantee, retention money guarantee, payment guarantee, and commercial SBLC, and financial guarantee. Each solves a specific problem in a specific phase of a commercial relationship. And know the issuance structure: direct for simplicity, indirect for cross-border familiarity, with the cost difference always borne by the applicant. In the next lecture, we look at the SBLC in depth, how it compares to the bank guarantee, where it differs, and the specific context where it is the preferred instrument.